Having a viable estate plan can give you peace of mind and help you rest assured that the assets that you have worked so hard to accumulate over time will eventually pass to the people that you love, not to creditors, not to divorce, and not to lawsuits, and certainly not to estate taxes. Hi, I'm attorney Michael Potter, and I've been working with individuals and families for a long time in the area of estate planning and asset protection. And I want to tell you why you need an estate plan. Having a viable estate plan can do several things at once. It can help you avoid probate and conservatorship. It can provide a responsible way to manage your assets so that they're not frozen in the event of your death. And it can provide a high degree of privacy depending on how it's structured. And finally, it can help you avoid the necessity of estate taxes, which would otherwise interfere with the inheritance of the heirs. The simple truth of it is that if you don't have an adequate estate plan, then you're not in control of how your assets would be distributed. In fact, federal or state law will control what happens and who gets what. It may not be who you want. So having an estate plan in place will give you that control that you need so that even from beyond the grave, you can determine, not the state and not some judge, you can determine who gets your assets and under what conditions. One of the first areas to think about is the need of your spouse or other family members for immediate liquidity so that they can take care of immediate and their longer-term future needs. One of the best ways to provide for this, of course, is through the use of a life insurance policy that will give your spouse or other family members immediate cash that they can use to satisfy the short-term needs and provide for the longer-term needs. Now, even though we usually recommend that our clients start with a living trust estate plan, if there's life insurance involved in their estate, it might make sense to consider the use of an irrevocable life insurance trust. And the reason for that is to get the life insurance outside of their taxable estate and beyond the reach of the IRS. Now, one of the areas that often comes up is what exactly should be done with the retirement assets, whether it's a 401k or an IRA or any other type of retirement plan. You know, in most cases, what happens is that the heirs cash in that retirement plan, they pay the taxes on it, they spend it, and then it's gone. The opportunity to have that grow over the lifetimes of the beneficiaries is now impossible. And that's why we urge you to consider the use of the IRA or Retirement Inheritance Trust. Now, a lot of people don't even think about this, but one of the areas that's going to require some attention is the issue of estate taxes, whether they're federal estate taxes or state applied estate taxes. A return is going to have to be filed within 9 months after your death. Now, depending upon your estate and the size of it, and what asset protection planning and estate planning you may have put in place, it may be that some of the assets you're not even aware of could trigger an estate tax. And yet, with a little bit of planning, that can be completely avoided. Now, it is true the estate tax laws are changing, but when are they going to change for the better? In fact, just recently, the estate tax application cast a wider net to even more people. So it's important that you plan ahead. I can show you some techniques that'll achieve just that. You know, everyone's situation is just a little bit different, and you might want to consider the use of one or more different kinds of trusts to your situation, because the use of a trust can help you maintain the privacy you want, reduce or eliminate estate taxes, and minimize the interference of outsiders such as the courts. It can protect assets from being seized by creditors and certainly help you with respect to getting the assets you want to the beneficiaries that you want without outside interference whatsoever, either from the IRS, from the courts, from creditors, from former spouses, or even the ex-spouses of your children trying to interfere in their inheritance. There's a lot of considerations to take into account, but the use of a trust very well might be the smartest thing you've done. You know, a trust could be an excellent way to go, depending upon your situation. It gives you the ability to control the timing and the manner of the inheritance your heirs will receive. A trust can control the way they receive it and under what conditions. For example, I often like to design a trust with incentives so that people who are the beneficiaries will achieve certain things like higher education, becoming a business owner, making a contribution to the community, and so forth. I like the idea of gradual inheritance. This allows the beneficiary time to mature, and at the same time, the money they won't be receiving until later has a chance to grow. That could be an excellent way to design your trust. What kind of trust would apply to your particular situation is going to be based on a number of factors. And my staff and I can certainly work with you in a private consultation to look at your options to see what best suits your situation. And then you make the decision on what you want to do. You know, there's a lot that goes into building your estate plan and doing it the right way. You know the personalities and the character traits of your intended heirs. And we know all of the options that are available to you in the way of estate planning. That's what we do, and that's what we're good at. I would encourage you to write up a list of questions. Make them difficult and challenging questions. How would this be handled? What about this? And bring those questions with you to the private consultation, whether we do it in person or by telephone or via a video conference such as Skype. We can have a discussion of your options and take a look at what makes sense for you. You know, I've been doing estate planning with individuals and families for a long, long time, and I've seen just about every question under the sun. And over the years, we've seen some common errors that people make. Probably the biggest one is that they put off thinking about estate planning because it's not exactly the most comfortable of subjects. And yet, after they've done it, after they've worked with us to develop an estate plan that makes sense given their circumstances, I'm often told, you know what, Michael, that wasn't so bad. I don't know why I waited so long. So don't wait any longer. Don't put yourself and your family through the tragedy of not having a plan in place. I've seen it many times where people thought, well, I'm not going to die until I'm old. I'm not going to be disabled in a motorcycle or automobile accident for the rest of my life. They really believe the common myth that we're all going to die when we're really old in our own bed, surrounded by our family. And sadly, it doesn't always happen that way. So take this seriously. Take a few moments to jot down as many questions as you can think of, and then give us a call. Give us an opportunity to show you what we can do to help you build a plan that makes sense for you. I'm attorney Michael Potter, and I look forward to hearing from you.